What's going on, guys? Briar Rabbit here. Got a little something different this week. So I'm doing the Nightfall solo, but instead of doing a live commentary, I decided to actually re-record the commentary for this video. I did do a live commentary. It did not come out as I wanted it to. I'm talking about something that is pretty controversial, and I did not want to be as distracted as I was by actually running the Nightfall strike. I did not get my point across the way I wanted to. So real quick, let's talk about the Nightfall itself. It's actually a pretty tough Nightfall for a couple of reasons. First of all, solar burn and arc burn. Solar burn, basically every enemy is going to be doing solar burn, but there are two that are a little more dangerous than the others. First of all is the tank. So you're all familiar with the tank that pops up kind of in the middle of the strike. That tank seems to be more of a one-shot kill than usual. It is a very dangerous enemy this week because it does do solar damage. So even if you're just on the very edge of the blast radius on that tank, you're in deep shit. You're in deep trouble. So that is pretty tough. And then Valis himself, again, does solar burn, and a lot of the enemies in that arena do solar burn. So I'm going to show you how I take both of those down fairly safely. And you'll even see a little bit of a glitch while I'm fighting the tank. What I actually want to talk about this week is a real hot topic around the Destiny community, and has a lot of people up in arms, and I think for good reason. So here's the thing. Let me do a little backstory explaining here. The Taken King is coming out in September, and there's basically three different packages you can buy. You can buy just the Taken King as a digital download for $40. So the way that works is you put your standard Destiny disc in, or if you already have Destiny preloaded onto your hard drive, then the Taken King just gets downloaded and works, right? You keep your Destiny disc in the drive, and you just play the new Taken King content off of your hard drive, the version that you downloaded. Then there's two other editions. There's the Legendary and the Collector's Edition. The Legendary Edition comes in two forms. Either a standard edition that you buy retail that comes with a disc. On that disc is all the content that's been released for Destiny so far, which includes Destiny Vanilla, the Dark Below, and of course House of Wolves, plus the Taken King. That's going to be a $60 package, which is an extraordinarily good deal for anybody who has not yet bought Destiny at this point. Because basically what you're getting is the $60 version of Destiny and the two $20 DLCs plus a $40 DLC that's yet to be released. So it's a grand total of about $140 value available for $60. So that's a really great value for people who don't have Destiny, but it's a really bad value for people who do have Destiny. There's really no reason to do that if you already own Destiny. You're spending $20 for content you already have. Now, the next version is the Collector's Edition. I think this is where people are really up in arms. The Collector's Edition comes in two forms as well. It comes in a digital version, which you just download, and it comes with a couple of special items. In-game items. It comes with 3 class-specific emotes, so basically new dance moves or new waves or whatever they're going to be. 3 new armor shaders, which people are really excited about, and 3 exotic class items that also have XP bonuses. So we've never seen that with a class item before, that it would give you an XP bonus. It's pretty exciting. People really want that stuff. All of this stuff people really want. And then there's also the Collector's Edition that will be sold retail, although I believe it is completely sold out at this point, no longer available. And in all honesty, this is the version that I ordered. As soon as I saw it released, or as soon as I saw it available, I decided, yeah, that's the version I'm going to get. That one comes with a bunch of physical items in addition to what you get with the digital download version of the Collector's Edition. It comes with an actual Strange Coin replica, a modified Treasure Island book with Cade 6 personal notes, a collection of relics and artifacts, a steelbook case, a bunch of stuff like that. This version also costs $80, and I think the real issue here is that both of these versions, both of the Collector's Edition versions, come with a bunch of content that we've already paid for, right? Minimum, if you just bought Destiny with the season pass, minimum you paid $80 for this content already. And what you're getting here is you're getting a bunch of content you've already paid for, plus the Taken King DLC, which is worth $40, and some extra little goodies. So you're basically paying around $40 either for some digital content or some digital content and a couple of real-life items like the Strange Coin. And people are pretty pissed about this, and I think it's for good reason. You know, it does not represent a good value for people who have been playing Destiny since the beginning, or even come into Destiny 6 months late. If you already own all of that content, if you already own the 2 DLCs that we've already seen, plus vanilla Destiny, it just represents a bad value. And I think that's why people are upset. Now, people were already upset, and then we saw a Eurogamer interview with Luke Smith, who is a developer with Bungie, and he's not a Deej, right? He's not a community manager. He's not the guy who goes out and does interviews, but for some reason, he did this interview with Eurogamer and came across as, I would say, not pleasant, not repentant about how people feel about the value of this DLC. And I gotta sympathize with him a little bit. You know, it wasn't his decision to make this content pricing structure the way it is, but at the same time, he is acting as a representative of Bungie. I think what he says is actually valid. The way he says it comes across as kind of a dick move, right? It just doesn't come across as very nice, and I think that's really unfortunate. Now, if you think about the pricing structure, there is validity to having an $80 disc-based version of the Taken King Collector's Edition. There definitely is. New players who want to get into Destiny, who's gotten all excited about what they've seen from the Taken King, you know, it makes sense to have, you know, a Collector's Edition for those people. But what's not represented here is a Collector's Edition for the people who have been sticking with the game. Now, Bungie's come out and said there are going to be a bunch of kind of rewards for people who've stuck around for the last year, right? For people who've been around for the last year, we're going to get some, you know, cool stuff too. They haven't said exactly what that stuff is going to be. I expect that in Bungie's weekly update. Actually, Deej has actually said that there's going to be an update about this. What can year one players expect when the new content is released? I think it's going to be something pretty cool. I think Bungie knows that they have a PR problem on their hands, and they need to satisfy older players who are feeling dejected, right? They're feeling like they're getting ripped off because they don't have an option to get all of the stuff they want without having to rebuy content they've already purchased. And that's a shame. That's a shame. And it's too bad because the Taken King content looks like it's going to be amazing. You know, the new subclasses, the new weapons, so much of it just looks so much fun. The new raid, you know, Oryx, you know, all the story stuff that's kind of been hinted at in that vid doc. I think it's going to be really amazing. And it's sad to see the fact that the community right now is so pissed off about this collector's edition. And I honestly believe they have every right to be upset about it. I don't know if it deserves the amount of vitriol that we've seen, but I definitely see why people are angry about it, because nobody wants to buy the same content twice. And to get like all the stuff you want, that's essentially what you have to do. The value proposition is very harsh on people who have supported Bungie all through Destiny, right? The same people who have been talking to their friends, saying how much fun they've been having in Destiny, are the ones who are getting kind of screwed over by this collector's edition. And I think that is a poor decision on Bungie's part. Now, I don't even know if it was a Bungie decision or if it was an Activision decision, but I think it would go a long way to kind of change up the pricing structure, which Bungie says is not going to happen. Luke Smith specifically says in that Eurogamer article that this is not going to happen, which is too bad. You know, it's too bad that they can't be a little more flexible about this. Maybe offer a $60 collector's edition that does not come with the original Destiny or the old DLCs. That would be, I think, somewhat acceptable to most people. Maybe a $50 version would be a little bit better. You know, $40 for the DLC, I think, is an okay value. You're talking to somebody who's put a lot of time into Destiny. Paying $20 for the last 2 DLCs has not been an issue for me because, you know, I feel like I play the snot out of this game. So if you look at like $1 per hour value proposition, you're probably looking at pennies per hour. You know, it's a very good value for me. So I didn't really have any problem going out and buying that collector's edition because I wanted that strange coin so it could sit on the shelf next to my red ghost that I bought with the Ghost edition of Destiny when the game was released. When the game was released, you know, well, I played the alpha, I played the beta. I knew I loved this game. I couldn't wait to get the full experience of Destiny. So I pre-ordered Advanced Warfare so I could get the Blacksmith shader, and I went out and I bought the Ghost Edition so that I would get all the DLC as soon as it came out. I wouldn't have to worry about that, and I would get that little ghost, you know, that could sit on my shelf. It's a pretty cool thing, and I want that strange coin, and I want that Treasure Island book. I think it's all pretty cool stuff. But, you know, it's a little different for me because I do make a little bit of money playing Destiny, you know, so it's like it's easier for me to justify spending $80 for what frankly is a bunch of content that I already own. And don't get me wrong, I see that there is a kind of poor value here. I do not like having to buy Destiny again, right? I already bought it once and I bought a really nice edition of it. Why should I have to buy another disc that has Destiny on it? Now, on the one hand, that sucks. On the other hand, is you can kind of see why they want to get that edition out there so that one disc has everything on it. You can see here in the gameplay, I actually get stuck in this rock. I'm hiding from the tank, and you can see the Black Hammer just rips this guy up. But I got really scared here. I didn't want my gameplay to get fouled up because I'm actually stuck in this rock. It takes me a while to get out of here. So back to the Collector's Edition. I do see, you know, the lack of value here. And I think that Bungie has a real PR problem on their hands. And I think Luke Smith actually made a mistake by aggravating the issue. I do see why Luke Smith said what he said. I think what he said was true. You know, like I don't think he was dishonest in any way. He actually, I feel like he kind of baited the interviewer a little bit. And I think that may be part of the reason that people are so angry about that interview because if you remember Luke Smith from back in the One Up Yours days, he was actually on a podcast called One Up Yours, and that was kind of his thing. You know, he's an edgy guy and he's a really smart guy. So that interviewer, I feel like, didn't expect that from him, and it started kind of a confrontational relationship between the reviewer and Luke Smith, which I think is unfortunate. I think that Luke Smith, in the future, if he's going to do any more press, needs to be a lot more careful about that. He needs to understand that he's not trying to win an interview here. He's not the interviewer. He is the person who's trying to sell a product. And I think that's really where he failed in that interview. So you can see I use this little area to take out that tank. I like this area because I can go out, I can shoot him. Once I see that shot is about to come out, that big blast radius is about to come out, I can back off behind that cliff and I am nice and safe there. I am not going to get damaged as long as I am behind that cliff. So it's actually a really good area to be safe from the tank. But you do want to be active in, like, when you see that shot charging up, you want to get off of the back of that cliff before he can shoot you. And because solar damage was such an issue, I actually took my time and started taking out a few of these guys that were hanging out in this little area that I usually just fly right through. But once I took out enough of them, it was fine. But anyway, back to the Collector's Edition issue. You know, I think that Bungie has a real PR problem here. I think that they need to show the original Destiny players, the Destiny veterans, some love. Because right now they're feeling pretty dejected. They feel like Bungie is kind of screwing them. And I think that there is reason to think that, you know, it's like the writing is kind of on the wall that, hey, we're not really respecting our year one players here. Now, on Thursday, when the weekly update comes out, maybe Bungie can turn this around. Maybe Deej says, okay, here's all the stuff that year one players are going to get. And it is an enormous value. What they can't really do is give them the stuff from the Collector's Edition. They can't give them those emotes. They can't give them those 3 armor shaders or the 3 exotic class items, because then there's no value in the collector's edition, right? And anybody who did buy that collector's edition is going to be just as pissed off as the people, the year 1 players who are pissed off. So they've kind of in a pickle right now. I think they would have been better off just putting physical items in the collector's edition, not the in-game stuff that can't be gotten any other way. But maybe they can make that stuff available, later. I don't want to see microtransactions come into Destiny. And I think that was one of the points that Luke Smith was kind of hinting at, is that, we don't want microtransactions inside Destiny, because that creates a whole new can of worms that, I don't want to deal with it, right? Because I don't want to buy an armor shader for $2, because it's just more money that I don't necessarily want to spend. I'd rather have that stuff unlocked by activities in the game. It's much more fun that way. There's no story to tell about the armor shader that you spent $2 on. You just spent $2 on it. So that doesn't represent much value to me, and I'd hate to see Bungie go that route. At the same time, spending $80 for, these emotes or these armor shaders, that doesn't really present value either. So I think that's all I've got to say on that topic. It's a tricky situation, right? A lot of people are really pissed off about it, and it's really understandable why that is. And I can't blame them at all. I just can't. And I don't think Bungie's really responded to the community in a way that's satisfactory. In fact, I think Luke Smith was a bit inflammatory about it. So we'll see if Deej can come out and fix all these issues. I suspect that he will be trying his best. We are having him on the Planet Destiny podcast on Thursday, so definitely check that out. I'm sure we'll ask him about this topic. I'm also sure we won't harp on the topic. There's a lot to talk to Deej about. If you've got Deej, if you've got access to Deej right now, I really want to talk a lot about the Taken King. I can't wait to play it. I can't wait to talk to Deej about it. So I will ask him about, the pricing structure, but I'm not going to harp on it because I don't really think that's going to help anybody. It is what it is at this point. Hopefully they learned a lesson from this experience and it won't happen again. But at this point, I don't know if there's changing it so much as just maybe trying to help satisfy the veterans of Destiny. So, Valis Tuark, here we are, and I decided I was going to use this old school cheese spot. I haven't actually used this in months, and I was wondering if it still worked. Well, the answer is yes, it definitely still works. It's badass, and because solar damage is a thing, and because I'm using the Celestial Nighthawk, I was actually able to take Valis Tuark down really quickly. And now Valis Tuark also got a nerf, I don't know, was that a month ago? Maybe more, maybe 2 months ago. I don't think we've done the Nightfall with him since that, though. Not that I can remember, but he is definitely way easier to take down. He does not have nearly the health pool he used to. But because it was solar damage, I felt like it was a good idea to use a cheese. I did not want to fail my Nightfall this late in a run. Usually I use the entrance area. There's a couple boxes and a blast shield right by the entrance, actually really close to where he's standing now. Usually I'll use that area, but I thought, you know what? I want to check out this old school cheese spot, see if it still works. It definitely does, and you can see that I really didn't have much of a problem taking down Valis. Now, I am in here for a good 5 minutes. As far as a cheese spot goes, though, this one is super cheesy. I think that wraps up everything I wanted to talk about today. There are some weapon balance issues, but I've brought that up in a few commentaries lately. I would like to see auto rifles buffed. I would like to see them usable in both PvE and PvP. I don't need them to be the end-all, be-all of PvP that they once were, but I would definitely like to have more options than just Thorn and the Last Word. So bringing that Cerberus regime back, bringing the Shadow Price back, that would be an awful lot of fun. The Pest Control Matrix, a new weapon being sold by the Vanguard Quartermaster. It looks like it's going to be a lot of fun if it weren't an auto rifle. If auto rifles were any good whatsoever, I would absolutely love to see that. So I would really like to see a weapon balance patch. We had this server kind of update, right? where Destiny was actually down yesterday for a good 5 hours. And they didn't really talk about what they changed there. They did say that, you know, back-end changes were made. You're not going to have any change in your player experience. But I'd like to know what they're at least prepping for. Hopefully one of those things is a new weapon balance update. I would love to see that in the near future. To change up the metagame of PvP would be a lot of fun. Instead of just using the same few weapons that we're using now, I would love to see some real changes to the metagame inside PvP, especially with Trials of Osiris being what it is right now. You know, if auto rifles were to make a return, that'd be great. If scout rifles were to find a real use case inside of Destiny, that would be amazing. I think it would be a lot of fun to change up that meta, so everybody has to kind of relearn, you know, what are the best weapons now? You know, we've been using Thorn, we've been using the last one, we've been using Hawkmoon, but what are the best weapons now? I think that would be a lot of fun. Also, I want to know what you guys think about this format. Did you like this better than the live commentary? Normally, I do these videos as a live commentary, so as I'm playing the game, that's what you're seeing is, you know, I'm actually talking and playing at the same time. I think I like that better because it gives me, you know, it gives me a little more things, a little more to talk about while I'm playing the game. It takes my mind off of it, but sometimes I feel like it can be a little bit boring for the viewer because if I'm concentrating really hard on what I'm doing in-game, then it can be difficult to stay on topic if I'm talking about something that's not directly related to the gameplay. And that's essentially what happened during this gameplay. So you can see I took out Valis Tuark with the Celestial Nighthawk. I absolutely love that super. It really makes the Hunter a boss killer. It's a super fun thing to use. But my rewards weren't so hot. So let's fast forward to the reward screen, and as you can see, no Land Beyond. Can you believe that? No Land Beyond. I want the new Hunter boot so bad, I can taste it. I want that quadruple jump, something fierce. But just not in the cards this week, so hopefully I'll get them from one of the other two Nightfalls I do. Until then, we'll see you guys later. Thanks for watching. Hit that like button if you liked the video. Hit subscribe if you're new to the channel. And I'll see you guys later.